Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1718, written by Sliceoflemons. Dad's return, but a new voice to learn? Years ago, when I was around 18 and lived with my parents, I was sitting in the living room chatting with my mom and sister. My dad had gone out to play pool a few hours earlier. We heard the back door open, which was not visible from the living room, and continued to chat as we assumed it was my dad coming home. As soon as we heard the footfalls of the person inside the house walking toward the living room, we all paused and stared at each other, confused. My dad was a tall, heavy man and had very distinctive footfalls, and these were different. They did not have the same weight or pattern. My immediate thought was, did Dad invite someone over? Even though that's not something he ever did. As the footsteps got closer, we heard a man's voice call, "I'm home!" And I looked to my mom and sister, who both seemed as concerned as I was. The voice sounded nothing like my dad's or like anyone's voice we'd recognize. I don't think he could sound like that if he tried. I can't describe it other than it was a completely different voice, someone else's voice. My mom stood up, shaken, just as my dad rounded the corner into the living room. We just stared at him in shock. Dad, was someone else in the house? He gave me a puzzled look and asked what I meant. My mom then asked, "Whose voice was that in the house?" We asked if he was speaking in some kind of different voice, and he, baffled, said no. There was no one else in the house, and he was speaking in his normal voice. It has unsettled my mom, sister, and I ever since. It's hard to convey over text, but it was an entirely different person's voice. If it was only me who was there, I would have doubted myself, but we all had the exact same experience. It was like the universe got confused and assigned the wrong person, but corrected it at the last second. We still talk about the time that Dad came home, but it wasn't Dad. Case file 1718, Dad's return, but a new voice to learn? I think it's a jumbled signal issue. Or again, if this is a simulation, then our data, our actions, can be translated into frequency, into data. So the type of voice your dad has, from a different universe, transmitted over to this one. Which isn't much of a stretch. I think information transferring is much more common than physical matter. Though I think it was the same soul, just a different corporeal form. That is a thought though. What if you died, you go through quantum immortality, your soul transmits to a different you in a different universe, but it's different enough where your body is different, where you have a different voice, a different face, different hairstyle, that's not so big a deal, but a different voice and everything. That would be wild and trippy. I've never read a story yet where someone woke up and they felt like they were in the wrong body. They remember their face being different. Maybe that'll happen, but I'm guessing for the you in a different universe to be that divergent from the you in this universe, the gap between universes would have to be so massive, it just isn't something that usually happens. But I don't think it's impossible. Again, that would be trippy. Case file number 1719, written by Caprimum. The Vase Lost, leaving me star-crossed. This happened to me 3 days ago. I'm still in a shock, disbelief, slightly scared mindset. So I've lived in my current home for just 1 year this week. When I moved in, I had a small vase with fake thistle and heather in it. I had owned this vase for many years previous to this, and it had survived 3 house moves so far. It lived in various places in the new house since we moved in, either in my fireplace, on my side table, or in my hallway. It moved out of the hallway permanently, as the windowsill it was on had a leak over winter, and there was nowhere else for it to go in the hall. My 3-year-old smashed said vase around 6 months ago when she knocked it off the fireplace, and myself, my 2 eldest daughters, laughed at the old Hubba Bubba chewing gum wrappers. They had stashed them there many years previously. I actually remember saying out loud, I've had this vase since first address, I'm gutted." Circle around to this week. My 3-year-old was playing a peekaboo game on the porch with me and the other girls, and to hide from her behind the door, we had to squish up against the wall. And my oldest daughter parked her bottom on the small window ledge in the hallway. It is 60 centimeters wide and around 15 centimeters deep, if that. Nothing there. I came out of the lounge less than half an hour later to go upstairs. Sat there on the windowsill is the vase, intact, on the edge of the sill. Instantly I recoiled and shouted, "Oh my God, what is that doing there?" I was dumbfounded, but scared at the actual unknownness of it reappearing. All 4 kids came to the stairway and hallway thinking I'd seen a spider or something. Upon seeing the vase, my eldest goes, "How? How? Mom, we literally sat there half an hour ago, and that was a smashed vase." She even repeated the gum wrapper anecdote. I have no idea how it's ended up back here. I do have small psychic tendencies, thoughts that manifest days later, knowing when people are going to pass, etc., but this has thrown my head. To stop the kids worrying, I said, "Right, let's Google the meaning of the flowers, as it has to be a sign." Sure enough, if you Google them, they bring protection, etc. Funnily enough though, this isn't the only glitch I've experienced in this house. I was cooking a cottage pie and opened the lid on the Worcestershire sauce. It spun, hit me, the stovetop, and never hit the ground. My kitchen has 2x2 meter floor space. No gaps in the kickboards or under the washer or oven are big enough. I've never found the lid to the bottle. I scoured the floors on my hands and knees. Never found it. Hey, would you like 1 week of early access to my weekly and monthly compilations? If so, you can join the channel or over on Patreon. Check it out. Now onto the stories. Case file 1719. The Vase Lost, leaving me star-crossed. An isolated region of space-time surrounding the vase, and that created this rewinding effect, where not only did it reappear, it was fixed. I wonder if the candy, the bubblegum wrappers were still back in it. My guess is they were, even if you took them out before. Again, this was a time reset, localized only to that vase. So if you want more gum, you know where to go. Now time for the joke of the day. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? They have the same middle name. Indeed. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.